Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. It is Monday, March 11th, and these are sales from Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and Monday morning. Poshmark was not that great for me this weekend, but I do have a really great couple of sales, 2 on Cherish and 1 from Facebook Marketplace. So I will share those after I share my Poshmark sales. The first item that sold is this somewhat vintage woven leather belt. This was Nordstrom brand. I always pick up these woven leather belts whenever I see them for under, say, $3. And, you know, black, brown, white, all the colors do well for me. This sold for $31. I had paid $3 for it. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $19.78. For those of you who are new to my channel, I sell belts all the time. They are a great bread and butter item, and many of my subscribers have said that they have started selling belts and they are doing well with them. The next item is this vintage Walls brand, W-A-L-L-S. And let's see, can you see that? There we go. And this is kind of a cotton canvas material. It has a corduroy collar. I just liked the color and the style and the kind of distressed, faded in look to it. So I used keywords like Western, ranch, rancher, cowboy, coastal cowgirl, chore coat, of course. I think I said work coat, equestrian, horse. What I go all in with the keywords. So I do think that that can help people find my listings and kind of imagine how they would wear this or style it. Let's see, I am thinking I might need to get, no, maybe I can make that work. I ran out of my plastic wrapping things, or almost out, and I need to order more, so I'm using tissue paper right now. Okay, so I have had okay luck with this Walls brand. Of course, you know, be sure to look at comps before you buy it, but if you can find it at a reasonable price and use the correct keywords, I think you can sell it. This sold for $34 with discounted shipping. I had paid $5 for it, which was, I think, a little bit more than I normally would have. And so that made my profit $19.22 after fees, cost of goods, and that shipping discount. The next item that sold is this new with tags tank top tunic. It is a longer length. I think it's too short and sheer to be a dress. But I put, what did I put? Tunic, tank top, swimsuit cover up, long lined, lace, boho, coastal, feminine, every single keyword that I could possibly think of that someone might search. And I think I put Western on this too, because I felt like it could have kind of a Western vibe. This was for $17, which I think is just fine because I think I looked up the retail on this and it was somewhere between $25 and $30 retail. I don't always have that great of luck getting much higher prices for new with tags items. I'm not really sure why. It seems like other people seem to do better with new with tags items, but I just buy them and look at sold comps for used. So I only paid $1 for this at a fill the bag type sale, so that made my profit $10.58. The next item that sold on Cherish.com, which is like chair that you sit in and then ish. And it is a pair of these starburst wall sconces. I used mid-century modern, walnut, sunburst, atomic, vintage, retro, 1960s. And these sold for $125. I'm pretty thrilled with that because they're kind of a basic item, potentially even handmade. I'm not really sure, but those did take a little while to sell, probably close to a year. The good thing is I only paid $2 for those at a yard sale. So this is the kind of thing you want to keep your eyes out for, that is very affordable, has a very distinct like style from an era. So those are very distinct mid-century modern from the 1950s and 1960s. So Cherish charges a 22% seller's fee. So after that fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $92.70. I think that is wonderful. I do have the Cherish seller's guide linked in the description box below if you want to look into selling on Cherish. It's a little bit different type of site, so you want to make sure you read through that whole seller's guide because it tells you everything you could possibly want to know. A very important thing is that they charge 40% if you have less than 10 items listed. So you want to make sure you're ready to go to get 10 items listed so you don't have to pay that 40%. Also, it is a curated site, so you could submit something for sale and they could decline to sell it on their site. That's just something you want to know. Okay, so I had another sale on Cherish, and it was a set of 4 Homecrest patio chairs. I will either, after this clip, I'll either insert a video or photos of those chairs. They are also pretty iconic mid-century modern style. I picked them up at an estate sale for $25 for the set of 4. The seat cushions were very worn and dirty looking, and they're white painted metal, and that was kind of chippy. But I figured that someone may purchase them to rehab them, and it was actually an interior design firm that purchased them for one of their projects, and they purchased them for $716. They are sending their shippers to pick them up, so I'm waiting for that. So after Cherish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $523.48 on one item. Those took, let's see, probably around 6 months to sell. So that is a really great sale. I'm very excited about it. And then this morning I had a dresser, a mid-century dresser listed on Facebook Marketplace. And I had it listed for $1,200, which was a aggressive price, but it was a very unique piece. Someone messaged me and asked if I would take $800 for it, and I told her yes, if she paid cash. So she showed up to look for it and kind of, kicked the tires a little bit and then tried to get more of a discount. So I ended up selling it for $750, which I kind of wanted to get more than that for it, but I have had it for 6 or 8 months. So, and it's a large piece. Plus, I only paid $150 for it at an estate sale, so I was ready to let it go. So there was no website fees or anything like that because she picked it up in person and paid cash. So that made my profit $600. Very excited about that. I will also insert a photo of that because I forgot to get a video of it before they took it. So a few weeks ago, I talked a little bit about what I do when my sales are slow on Poshmark. I also wanted to talk a little bit about diversifying your business. Now, if you are just starting or you've been at this a year and it's overwhelming to think of being on multiple platforms, just stick with one platform, learn what you can, get good at that platform before you diversify. But I do think in the kind of uncertain economy that we are in, it is going to be important to diversify your resale business or any business to ensure that you can keep going through these uncertain times. I was talking to some other businesses, and they are saying that they had record sales during first quarter, which we're still in, of this year. My sales have been amazing during first quarter of this year. So I wanted to give a couple of tips on how to continue to be successful in an uncertain economy or a recession. So the way that I look at this is that instead of looking for items that are less expensive to sell to people who are having tough times financially, and I don't want this to come across as inconsiderate or I don't know what the right word is. This economy has affected me and my husband and my family for sure. So I do understand that it sucks when your livelihood is affected. But to keep going, I have to think like a business owner. And as a business owner, I am trying to not target people who buy lower priced items. I am trying to target wealthy people who buy higher priced items, because typically in this kind of economy, the rich get richer. And so you want to be targeting people who have lots of disposable income. I try and target interior designers and architects who may be buying for projects for wealthy individuals, and they have a budget, but it's not their money. And so as long as it fits within their budget and their style, they will purchase it. So try and think about your business from that perspective. I also realize that not everyone has access to the same inventory at the same prices as I do, but I don't want you to have limiting beliefs. So don't go to the thrift store for 30 minutes and say there's nothing good here and give up and say there's nothing ever good here. I know plenty of people who live in larger cities who are still successful and who are able to find good inventory. You just have to put the work in and educate yourself on different brands to keep your eyes out for. So maybe some more obscure brands. Maybe you aren't looking for Free People or Nike anymore. You are looking for a more obscure Italian high-end brand. And the way that I do that is anytime I am in a big city, and I live very far from a big city. The closest one is about 4 hours away. Anytime though I am in a city like that, I will go into the high-end department stores, Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, Barney's. I think Barney's is defunct now, but the higher end places, and I will look at the brands and I will look at the styles and I will look at the prices. You guys would be shocked at what people are paying for dresses right now. You know, some of these brands have dresses for $1,200 or $600, and they're selling them and people are buying them. So try, instead of limiting your beliefs to what you are aware of in your area, try to expand your knowledge and, you know, realize that there are people out there spending money, and try and figure out what they are buying. I also, a few weeks ago, I was giving tips on how to improve sales on Poshmark, and my sales on Poshmark have been better and worse and better and worse. But I rewatched that video, and although I did give some good tips, I felt like maybe I was a little bit harsh, which in this business you do have to be strong and keep your own confidence and keep your own motivation. But I just want to say that I believe in all of you, and if you put your mind to it, you can have a successful business. You just need to keep learning more and learning about different areas of the resale business and trying new things. And I just want you all to know that I believe in you, and I'm very proud of all of you for trying to run your own business, having your own business, being successful, getting through the hard times. This business can be very lonely. And, I was excitedly talking to my dad about some progress that I have made with my YouTube channel. And he was like, well, it sure is taking a long time. And it just kind of deflated me a little bit, and I just had to get through that. Thankfully, a few of you, Christine and Christina, left me such kind comments on one of my videos, and I am so grateful for that, because I'm just a person too, and I have hard days, and I have self-doubt, just like everyone does, and I am just not willing to give up. And I think that is the key to having a successful business, is that you just don't let people get you down, and you just keep trucking forward. And if you have a dream, something that you enjoy, you just keep working towards it, no matter what people say or think about what your business is. And trust me, I have heard it all. People do not get what I do. Many people think that my husband makes a lot of money, and I just go to estate sales and buy all this stuff for fun and spend all his money. And that's just simply not true. So we don't need to convince other people of our worth. We just need to convince ourselves. Anyways, I hope that was helpful, and I believe in all of you guys, and I really hope that you do well. Okay, so it's just Monday. I will be back in a couple of days. Don't go anywhere. If you are enjoying my videos, I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I do these types of videos, thrift hauls, thrift with me, and I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. As of today, I just surpassed 4,000 subscribers, and I am absolutely thrilled and oh so thankful for that. And actually, I wanted to say thank you to Mogi Beth. She is an OG YouTuber, and she recently mentioned my channel on her channel, and I did get quite a few new subscribers from that. And it's just so important to support each other, support other women, other business owners, and be kind and positive to yourself and to others. Okay, enough of my TED Talk, but I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I will be back in a jiffy to share what else I sell. Hi again, it's Thursday, and I've got quite a few sales to ship out. My sales were pretty slow the first couple of days since I shipped last, and I did some of the activities that I've mentioned in the past. I also sent out 20% off offers on every single item in my closet, except for the items that had been listed less than 10 days ago. And then I got a couple sales from that. And then 24 hours later, I sent out 30% off offers with discounted shipping on everything in my closet, except for items that had been listed less than 20 days ago. And that resulted in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 or 5 or 6 sales. I don't know. I have 12 sales to ship out today. So I'm happy. I'm only going to say this once, but there are a couple of things that sold for a little bit less than I wanted. But, I have to accept, and we have to accept, that sometimes items don't sell for what we hope they will. So let's get started. The first item that sold is this vintage Guess belt, and I picked it up solely because of the way this G logo was, and it was only $3. Gucci actually came out with, kind of reissued this vintage looking G style logo, and so I thought it would appeal to some people who want that look without the price. So I had it listed for $45, and it sold for full price to a guest buyer. What a guest buyer is, if you're not familiar, is it is a buyer who finds your item on Google or another search engine and comes to the Poshmark platform just to purchase your item. I love these types of buyers because typically they are no frills and usually they don't leave feedback, but I've never had a problem with them. So I think it's great. Okay, it sold for $45. I paid $3. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $33. I think that is great. My belt sales, I haven't had as many lately, but I haven't been listing new belts. So I find that sometimes when I am listing more in a certain category, I sell more older items in that category. So you'll see I have a lot of jewelry sales to ship out today, and I have been listing a ton of new jewelry items over the last couple of weeks. And I don't know, I think somehow when you list in a certain category, it boosts your other listings in that category. Also, you know, I did send out all those offers. So anyways, this item is a vintage, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Heishi bead. It is Heishi. It also has some little turquoise bead necklace. And this is either Native American made or Native American inspired. I couldn't verify for sure. So, you know, I put Southwest, and I did put Heishi bead and turquoise in the listing. I'm trying to think what else I put in there. Western, beaded, but it sold for $48. I thought that was a really great price, especially because I purchased this in a bag of other similar necklaces with different beads. So there was 4 or 5 in the bag, and the whole bag was $2. I already sold one of them for, I think, like $60 or $70, and then this one sold for $48. So really a great pickup. I paid less than $1 for this. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $35.38. It did take a little while to sell, but you know, when your cost of goods is low and you know, jewelry does not take up very much space, then it's okay if things take a little while to sell and you have a nice return on your investment. I've said this before, but that's one of the reasons I like picking up jewelry, just because it doesn't take up very much space, and I can just wait for the right buyer to come along in most instances. That was one of the 30% off offers with discounted shipping. So everything, all of the profits that I mentioned today, they have that discounted shipping deducted from my overall profit. Okay, the next item is this fun kind of statement gold tone band ring. This is just a costume jewelry piece that looks like gold. I had recently updated some keywords on this and added mob wife and cocktail ring to the title and description. I don't know if this sold as a result of adding those keywords or the 30% off, but either way it sold, so I am happy about that. Let's see, this was given to me. It sold for $17 with discounted shipping, so not a big sale, but still that made my profit $11.58, which I'm not going to complain about that one bit, especially since it was given to me. I am excited that I had all these sales, although I really wish that they had been larger items that sold so that, you know, I could kind of pare down my inventory, but a sale's a sale, so I'm going to be thankful. The next thing that sold is this pair of teeny tiny Tasco Mexico earrings, and they are sterling silver, and then they have a little gold rim around the edge. These sold pretty quickly. They sold for $21. I recently bought a couple really large lots of jewelry from a couple of different people. This was the first item to sell from the first lot, and I think it only took about a week to sell, which is great. Did I say they sold for $21? and I paid about $3. That was my average cost of goods for that lot of jewelry. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $13.80. I shelled out a lot of money for both of those jewelry hauls. This one, I spent $350 total. And then another one for the jewelry portion, I spent about $700. So I really need to work to get, you know, some of that money back and get all those items listed. Okay, the next item it sold is this really cute little vintage rhinestone necklace. Has the pink rhinestones, which is kind of unusual. You know, rhinestone jewelry is kind of hit or miss. It looks like I did not cut a big enough piece of bubble wrap for this, but lately it seems like, you know, vintage costume jewelry has really become more popular. And I keep saying this to you guys, but I haven't done it. If you have vintage costume pieces or you are looking at purchasing them, you really want to do some research on the item to make sure that you are not underpricing it, because like I said, the prices have really gone up. This did not have a brand name or anything. It sold for $34. Some of the designer vintage costume jewelry is unmarked, and you just have to, you know, figure out if it could possibly be a certain designer. I just haven't had the time to go back and do that yet. So I guess that is my loss, but hopefully this buyer really loves it or is able to make a little money on it. I paid $5 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $20.18. Oh, so I wanted to mention, I have been getting my little craft jewelry boxes at the dollar store. But this last batch that I got, they used to come with the little cotton filling inside. And the last batch that I got did not come with that. And the dollar store is no longer $1. It's what, $1.29 or $1.39. So I do think I'm going to look for another supplier for my, you know, paper jewelry boxes like this. I liked the ones at the dollar store because they came with 3 different sizes per pack, and a lot of the wholesale ones that you buy is just one size. Anyways, if anybody has a recommendation for an affordable supplier for these craft jewelry boxes, please let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Okay, the next item is this fun vintage brooch, and it has these kind of leopard or lion heads on it with rhinestones and this little like kind of lucite plastic base. I just thought this was a fun piece, and actually it was just given to me. But this particular style with the kind of lion heads is pretty popular. Also with the mob wife trend, you know, it's going to be, kind of has that look to it. So that's going to make it popular too. This sold for $50. Let's see, I'm going to add a little bit more packaging to this, which I think $50 is really a great price. It did not have a brand name on it either. Like I said, this was given to me, so my earnings were $40. I'm not sure how long this had been listed, maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 months. But I am excited to have so many jewelry sales going out because I mean, you know, a sale's a sale, but also because I had purchased so much jewelry lately, and so I'm really happy to move some stuff out. The next couple of sales are pretty exciting. This is a vintage brooch and earrings set, and it is sterling silver with pearls. I picked this up at an estate sale, and when I'm at estate sales, it's pretty competitive in my area. So oftentimes I will just be grabbing anything that looks of interest. And at this particular couple of estate sales, they don't price their jewelry very high. So she had this priced for $8. I was relatively certain it was sterling silver when I grabbed it. And then when I got home, I, looked at it more closely and saw that it was marked Mings, M-I-N-G-S, which I had never heard of that brand before, but I looked up comps and it looks like it is quite a desirable brand. And I saw listed items and sold items, this exact set, between like $200 and $350. So of course, you know me, I priced this on the higher end, but this buyer got a 30% off offer with discounted shipping for $230, and they accepted $230. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are learning that, this costume jewelry can be, well, this isn't costume, it's sterling silver, but that it can be rather valuable. And so it is definitely worth it to take a look. I might put this in a different box. Definitely worth it to take a look at yard sales and estate sales when you're out and about, or thrift stores. Most of my thrift stores are not putting out jewelry anymore. I don't know where they're selling it, but okay. Sold for $230, I paid $8. So after Posh fees, my cost of goods, and that shipping discount, that made my profit $173.98. Yes, I am very excited about that. I might put more bubble wrap in that too, just so it doesn't kind of move around. I wish that I was, an expert on all of this vintage jewelry, because it's possible that, I could be underselling it a little bit. But, one of the things that my mom taught me when, I kind of got into this business is that you just have to look at sales like, if you made a profit that you were happy with, why does it matter if someone else makes a profit on it too? Of course, it would be nice to have that extra money all the time, but you just can't beat yourself up because you can't know everything all the time. So this is one of those things that I just have a feeling is worth more, but it is not, it does not have a designer mark on it, but it is absolutely gorgeous. With the different colored rhinestones. So that's something I didn't mention. So the clear rhinestone items are much more common than the colored rhinestone items. So typically the ones that have color will sell for more than the clear rhinestones. Now that's not to say that you shouldn't look up and research your clear rhinestones, especially if they have a maker's mark on them. But if you're at a sale and you have to choose between colorful rhinestones and clear rhinestones, I would go for the colorful unless there is a designer mark. So this is a set of the necklace and earrings, and it sold for $62 with discounted shipping. And actually I'm gonna package this up off camera because the buyer was very specific that she wanted extra safe packaging on it, and I would like to make sure that I do that for her. Okay, so this sold for $62. I had picked it up at an estate sale for $5 for the set. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $42.58, which is great. Okay, the next item is this Brighton wallet. I am pretty selective when I pick up Brighton because it doesn't always sell for a really high amount, even though the retail is pretty high. So there are certain pieces, or more current pieces that will sell for a little bit more. but in general, these older pieces don't sell for really high amounts. So I only pick them up if they're very affordable. This sold for $21 with discounted shipping. I had picked this up at a fill the bag sale, and that's the only reason that I got it, because like I said, it was, you know, it cost me less than $1. Plus I just thought it was a nice basic piece and kind of a nice size, not too large and not too small. It sold for $21. Like I said, I paid less than $1 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $12.82. Let's see. I think I had a box out for that. So even, you know, even though it's a little bit lower dollar sale, all these bread and butter sales, which means, you know, a lower dollar item, they all add up. And so I'm happy to have some of these going out. So the next item that sold is this pair of Ziggy Girl, I don't know if you can see that, sandals, and they really have gorgeous beading on them. These were new in the box. I actually purchased these for myself a few years ago, and I just never ended up wearing them. So I finally listed them, and they took a while to sell, but they sold for $22 with discounted shipping. I don't know, I don't remember what I paid for these. I got them off Poshmark, and as I've said before, I'm pretty frugal, so I can't imagine that I paid that much for them. But my earnings from the sale was $15.58. I am, you know, happy to see them go since I didn't end up wearing them, and hopefully this person will enjoy them. Okay, let's see. I do still have the original box there. And then this was kind of an interesting sale to me. I got this recently at a fill the bag sale, and it is this vintage ditzy floral kind of nighty nightgown. It had, let's get up close, has some fun lace detail and ribbon detail. I just picked it up because I thought it was, you know, cutesy and girly. I used the keyword, I don't even know if I'm saying it wrong, coquette girl, which is kind of a micro trend right now. And although this has quite a few loose threads, I think this is a handmade item or homemade. Although this was definitely originally meant to be a you know, nighty piece, I thought that this might work with that trend, and someone could, you know, put a belt on it and wear it with Doc Martens or something to kind of get that vibe. And it seemed to work because it sold rather quickly for $35. I can't remember what I originally priced this at. I don't think that it sold as a result of the 30% off sale. I think she just made me an offer. But anyways, I had paid less than about $1 for it because I got it at a fill the bag sale. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $27. And I just, you know, I picked it up because I thought it was cute and kind of unusual. Of course, I also said vintage and cottagecore, prairie, ditzy floral, feminine, cute. I think that's all I used. But, you know, of course, I went heavy on the keyword terms because there was no brand name, there was no fabric content label or size. Whenever that happens, I do put all of that information in my listing, and then I put estimated as a up to size large, because I thought, you know, different sizes could wear this just as a different look. And then of course I put the measurements in the listing so that the person could determine if they, you know, they would like the fit or not. Okay, sorry about that. That came untaped. Okay, the next item is another, well, I guess this isn't necessarily a nightie, but someone could wear it as a nightie or a slip. And it's just this cute little delicate vintage slip with this really pretty feminine floral lace pattern. Now, I've mentioned this before, but for those of you who are new here, so these vintage slips and nightgowns, they do end up selling, but typically they take a little while to sell and they don't sell for very much. So I have kind of slowed down on picking them up. There are certain brands and styles that sell for high dollar amounts. So like the Olga brand is a pretty desirable brand. And if you find sets that are in like bright colors or like something that you would see on Mrs. Maisel, those can sell for higher dollar amounts. But if you want a higher dollar amount, you do have to kind of wait it out. This sold for $14 as part of my $14 with discounted shipping. So only about 12 actually. But you know, if I can, like for this one, I picked up about 8 or 10 at one estate sale and they were $1 a piece. So that makes for an easier listing. So I do take pictures of each individual item, but I can use very similar title and description and keywords, and then just note the particular condition of each item. So it makes it a lot quicker and easier to list. So I'm more inclined to do that if there is a large number of them than say one at a time. I think this is one of my last of these little short slips, so I may consider picking up some more. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Just don't want you guys to think that these are a quick seller and go out and buy a whole bunch if you don't want to sit on them, because this took probably over a year to sell. Sold for $14. I paid $1. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $8.03. Okay. So that is all for today. Don't go anywhere though. If I have more sales tomorrow, I will come back and share those with you. We are going to be out of town for the day on Saturday, so I probably won't ship on Saturday. If I don't have any more sales, then T-Bird will make an appearance and say hello. All right, well, I will see you in a bit. Thanks so much for watching. 2 videos in a row, you get an appearance from T-Bird, and she is very excited to be here. If you haven't already, we would love it if you would subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below. It turned out to be an amazing week. My total sales for the week were $2,272. Yes, that is amazing. My total cost of goods was $214. And my total profit after any fees, cost of goods, and shipping discounts was $1,699.69. That is amazing. We are very happy. Her face is a little dirty. Oh, she's saying give this video a thumbs up. She is so funny. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys all again soon. Can you say bye-bye, T-Bird?